They like, hey, where you at? Where you at? Drop a pin, send the addy, yeah, I'm somewhere in the bag. Okay, they like, where you at? Where you
What's going on, Goals Gang? You are currently tuned in to the first official Somewhere in a Bag podcast. Today, I'm super excited to have my very first guest. I have on the line with me Kenneth, Mr. Magnificent Keaton. He's one half of Team Sexy and host of Smash the Mat podcast, which is a podcast of 2 of 4 host. We also have Dave Sweet Daddy D Sanders, the other half of Team Sexy. And then we have Greg G Money Johnson, on air radio personality for Fayetteville's hip hop and R&B station Foxy 99, and also host of Smash the Mat podcast. And he's also a wrestler. And then we have honorable mention, shout out to the other two host of the Smash the Mad podcast, J5 and DB. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and enter them into the room. So let's get it. Hello. Hello.
Hey.
This dude. Wow.
Welcome.
He hath arrived.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the very first episode of Somewhere in a Bag.
Not a problem. If I know we were really going to do that, I'd have had my family matters interests together too.
Ooh, sweet Jesus. Sweet Jesus.
That's how we do. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it interesting. It's the first episode. You got to come in with style and grace. You know what I mean? I like to know.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a lot of things, G Money, but it wasn't style and grace. There's a lot of things.
Okay. All right. Well, without further ado, we can go ahead and jump in. First and foremost, I wanted to start off. This episode is called Podcast on Podcast. You know how I'm I guess honorary a charlatan at this moment, but if y'all listen to the baby, you know how they say baby on baby, we're going podcast on podcast. So this is my first podcast episode, and I wanted to start off talking to you guys about you guys' podcast, Smash the Mat. So first, please let us know a little bit about your podcast and kind of how it got started up.
Well, before we even do that, I think G can answer that question better than anybody. But G, I think we just had a segment that we normally have on our show, which is the college word of the day. She says
Yes.
charlatan.
Yes.
Charlatan.
I like
Jesus.
that. That
is not even in my lexicon.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, I'm an honorary charlatan. I came to Charlotte in 2010 for school and just didn't leave, but I am originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina, 2-6, and just want to get a little bit of little hood for a second. So shout out to any of my people from the 2-6 listening. But yeah, I am a charlatan now, I guess.
Hey. As far as the podcast is concerned, I will tell anybody this is G Money's baby. Like I'm just lucky to be a part of it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So I've been a wrestling fan like my whole life, and I work at a radio station, WZFX Foxy 99, the Big Stick, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 7 p.m. And what ended up happening was there was a time when I think the company they wanted to do a lot of digital stuff. And they was like, oh, you know what? We want everybody to have podcasts. We want everybody to have podcasts. And at first I wasn't with it, but it was like, you talk about whatever you want. And then I was like, well, you know what? I was like, I would like to start a podcast. So I created the Smash the Mat podcast. Now, the funny thing is they gave me the idea to start a podcast, but I don't share it with them. because I was like, hey, we need you guys to start a podcast. So I started one. I just don't affiliate it with my job at all. So it at first it started out. It started out with it was me and was J5 the first person? It started out with me and J5, and then it was me and my boy Keys, and this was like 2017ish. But anyway, after a while, it was me and it was me and J5 again, and we had DB working with us, and then I hadn't seen Ken in a couple years, and I think I like ran into him at like a wrestling show somewhere. And we told him what we were doing and stuff. And he was like, man, I would like to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much auditioned. Like first, now let me tell you about this guy, because like when we finally decided, we was like, all right, we'll let you do an event with us and we'll see how it goes. It was a wrestling show that we ended up we were asked if we would sponsor like this group's like their first wrestling show. We was like, yeah, we'll help. And I was like, why not? Like we gotta get our name out there. You guys need to get your name out there. So Mr. Magnificent shows up, and like I wish I had the picture. He shows like we're all there wearing regular clothes. He comes out there in like the collar shirt with the slacks and everything. You know what I'm saying? He had like notebooks with all the notes for the show we had on. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I bring that up is because he never did that ever again. He just did it that one time just to become part of the show.
Hey, we have notes. We have notes. They're just not in
He
pretty notebooks anymore.
never dressed up ever again.
Oh
He
no,
never
no,
did.
nah.
That's my dude. My dude.
So on the show, we covered all the major wrestling impacts. This is back then. When we started, once we did that first show, that ace show, that alternative championship entertainment, when we got there, we was like, well, what the hell are we gonna do? Like, we're just here. So we was like, you know what? Why don't we just like do our own commentary, just to pass the time? So we had our first interview. Well, not our first interviews, our first live interviews. We started commentary. We thought we were pretty good, and the guys at Ace thought we were pretty good. You're like, you know what? What if we just go to shows and just do commentary and just release them as podcast episodes? Because because the thing is, when it comes to wrestling or any sport, right? Whenever people talk about this stuff, they always talk about the major leagues, the famous people, you know what I'm saying? But like how often do you hear people talk about like semi-pro football or the G League and the NBA? Like we're covering the majors and the indie level of wrestling. So like some of our listeners, we're actually talking about them because these guys are the guys in the shows and stuff. And how, like, I think it was dope because you went like, how many times do you get to, you go to your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, Google, Radio Public, whatever it is, and you can listen to a show and the guys are talking about you and what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't happen too often. So from there, we just grew and grew. Like we're not where we want to be yet, but we've been making some waves. We've been making some waves, in at least in the North Carolina wrestling community. So
Definitely. We're getting there. Like, I won't say we struggled when we started because it wasn't really a struggle because we were just having fun. But I don't think we fully realized what we had the capability of doing. And even, in the short time that I've been with them, or I say them, with Smash the Mat, even the technology that we've used has grown. I mean, we went from having the board wired into the computer, into microphone and all this stuff. Now everything is like wireless. So shout out to Daniel too, because he's a big part. He's behind the scenes, but he's a big part.
But you know what? And like it goes into stuff like podcasting too, right? Like you're using a headset right now. Like I just recently bought, this I just bought a desk. I haven't even hooked it up yet. I just got this Shure. Well, what is this? This is I forget what the brand, it's a Shure. I forgot what the label. Oh, the SM7B. These joints right here, these are the type of joints that you hear, the Breakfast Club, and everybody and their mama, when you see them like posted up with their mics, they got stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we started off, like really small. We started off with like
G Money got money.
but no, bro. Look, first off,
I see you in 15 minutes, bro. Let me holler at you behind this tree.
bro, look, we started off using a lot of bootleg equipment.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I was like, you know what, we can invest and get some better looking stuff and make things a lot easier. And now we went from, man, look, I got my DJ bag right here. You know what I'm saying? We used to hook up a computer and we would have like a real heavy mixer, and we'd have 4 microphones like this, and we'd all have headphones, and we'd open up Adobe Audition and we just hit record, and everybody's got to talk, you know what I'm saying? And now I have Ken's got it. He's got the mixer at his house. Yeah. Now we got this other one that records everything individually. We got headsets and everything. Like, it's all about evolution. You know what I'm saying?
That is good.
Investing in
Yeah,
that is good.
And we looked like $1 million. Bam! There you go.
Oh, there it is. There it is. You see, look,
so
we
y'all
all got eye socks on, and we got shorts and stuff. This man came in with the slacks
and look in the background. You can see the equipment that you were talking about with the microphone.
Looking like a TV dad.
Yeah, I think. So speaking of humble beginnings, I'm pretty sure it was so long ago, but I was on y'all's podcast. Do y'all remember when y'all did have the little?
I absolutely do.
We were in the kitchen with it, yeah.
Yep.
And so just so I'll probably use this opportunity to kind of like backtrack a little bit. Was super excited and forgot to introduce my own self. So just in case, there's somebody watching right now that has never seen me before and it's like, yo, who is this? So my name is Tatiana Colorado. I also go by Tat Goalz, your fave corporatepreneur. So the podcast you're watching right now is called Somewhere in a Bag, and it's basically around motivational and entrepreneurship content. And I also have a little sprinkle of popular culture as well. So just to also give you more context, this individual, Mr. Magnificent, this is actually my brother. Yes, we in fact have the same mom. I know we look just alike, don't we? And just like then we got Dave down here. Dave, didn't you used to like wrestle? Weren't y'all like in a backyard with it?
Yes, we were.
Yeah, like how long? Like real quick before I continue, how long have you known my brother, Mr.
99. 1999.
1999. So yeah, they go. We go. Yeah, we go back, and then we got G Money. I think I met you pretty much around the time where we did that one episode. So like my brother also used to be in radio, and so what was that, Dave?
That's bro too.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. So these so y'all basically like my bros, and my bro from back in the day when he was in radio. He used to take me to the studio with him, and so I know myself coming from humble beginnings. This is my first, I guess, official podcast, but I've like ran through the Anchor platform, and so from him transitioning to y'all like starting out like in the kitchen with it with the little equipment, the microphones. As he has progressed, he put me on. So this is why I'm here today. He kind of passed the sauce along, and now I'm able to have my own platform and my podcast as well. So this is an extra special episode, almost like a low-key family reunion a little bit. But cool. So what was that, Dave?
I just said a little bit.
I tell you what's funny. Tatiana, Dave used to call you Stowaway because me and Tatiana, we lived together. We grew up together. We lived together all our lives. Dave used to come by the house, but he swears he never saw you.
Ever.
You
Never.
know, I have vague memories, and I think like me seeing you as a child and then as an adult, I just didn't put two and two together. Um, yeah, but
I ain't
literally,
see.
it's
I don't remember seeing no little light skinned kids
I
anywhere.
swear,
Like nowhere.
I swear we grew up together. So I mean, same house, and I remember
It's
like
like, oh yeah, this is
it's
my grown sister. Like, oh, where you was at? Really? Okay.
I
All
just
right. Hey
remember
sis, how you been?
to see what y'all do now is super cool just because like I literally remember y'all in the backyard, like you dragging mom's old furniture, pillows outside, y'all power driving people in the backyard in the
Fools.
grass and stuff. Like it's crazy just to see like how you've evolved to actually realizing your dream. And I'm not personally, I will let y'all know I'm not a wrestling fan at all. Like even growing up with Ken, it's not like my favorite thing, but I enjoy watching it with him just because it's just a way for him and I to bond. But
That's an awesome drug.
when I tell people my brother wrestles and I specify what kind, they're just like, man, what? Like, I always wanted to be a wrestler. Like, tell me more. And I'm just like, I'm unimpressed, but everybody else is always just like in awe whenever they learn that my brother's a
That's an
wrestler.
awesome drug.
So anyway, so back to the nitty gritty. So Smash the Mat podcast, right? So
Hmm.
it's around wrestling. I also, me being in something else that I do, I'm a brand consultant and I help people start their brands or start small businesses or scale their small business. And I've had plenty of conversations with people that are interested in starting a podcast, but they just don't know like where, how, um, and it's a lot easier than what people realize. And I want to know if you guys have any advice for any aspiring podcasters out there.
Mm.
Just do it. Like Nike.
Have
Yeah,
fun.
like it's just like how you said you started with Anchor. Anchor is like I never used Anchor, but I know how easy it is. Anchor is literally just taking your phone. You just download the Anchor app and you can just stay right there, hit the button and just do your talking. You know what I'm saying?
I get that though. I'm just playing on the other side, right? Because I'm one of those that I wouldn't say I get intimidated easy, but if I get frustrated, I just go to hell with it. And if you put a lot of thought into it, you're like, okay, I'm gonna start a podcast, and the first little thing gets a little hard. You just go, I don't want to, I don't want to do it anymore because of technology. So break it down to him, G Money.
Okay, so and I'm glad you said that. So on the smallest level, right? Like let's say all you have is an idea. Like all you have is an idea, but we're literally walking around with a mini computer in our hands. You know what I'm saying? Like I could probably I could probably go to my Play Store or your iTunes store if you have a iPhone and just put podcast. You know what I'm saying? And it'll like podcast player apps. You could just find something right then and there. Download it and like let's say you want to start a podcast about hair care. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like my girl loves like she loves watching like videos about black women doing their hair and stuff. So if she's into some stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? She could just take her phone. Hey, what's up? It's blah 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 yakety smack. Now look, this is what's going down. Da, 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 blah blah blah. Now if you want to do video, see, and this is what changed the game for us. What we're on right now, StreamYard. Like we used to take our mixer and I used to always go to wherever Kim was at, and we would do our podcast there. And then like we would have to the way we used to do our podcast was mad complicated. Like we would have our mixer and I would plug the phone into it. We do a damn Facebook call to the other side, whoever else wants to be on it, and we're recording everything at the same time through like 2-3 devices. Like it's a lot of work.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But StreamYard, you don't even need the phone. You can just go to StreamYard.com, you know what I'm saying, and and you can do a video podcast just like this, and that requires even less than nothing. All you need is the internet. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe maybe you haven't you want to do your podcast, but man, I don't want to buy a camera. Like camera's expensive. Then I gotta get some kind of video editing software. You know what I'm saying? You could just use StreamYard, and like that's what we use on Smash the Mat. You know what I'm saying? They give you a couple options for like layouts and all that stuff. It's really simple. Really, and there's I mean, shoot, some people use Zoom. You can do the same
Yeah.
thing with Zoom. Like super basic StreamYard, Zoom, or whatever else you can find. Like you won't even have to buy. The only reason we have the stuff that we have is because we go out to shows, and like we made Smash the Mat into a business. So now we actually go out to wrestling shows and we film, edit, record, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have all the stuff that we have. But the average person with a podcast, you don't need any of that. Maybe some headphones. Like
Yeah.
it's really simple.
I would say have fun with it because it's a podcast. It's something that you're starting. It's your passion, and once it becomes like a job, then it's not fun anymore. And you have to have fun at what you do because it comes across to your audience. And also, I would say that if you work with people that you genuinely get along with, G and J5 and DB, I get along with all those guys. Dave is my brother. We've been friends since high school. So all of these people, like especially that Dave, not so much anymore because he lives a little far away. But like G and Daniel and us, we see each other a lot, and we talk a
Literally.
lot, and we're on the road together a lot. So it's real easy to have that conflict and butt heads and all that stuff. But you have to remember it's a business, and you got to have fun at the end of the day. Not that story, Dave.
Absolutely. I think
Ooh.
not y'all with
Uh,
the inside
uh,
jokes.
another thing that I would add is like I look at podcasts the way I look at YouTube pages. Like and the reason I say that is because when you go to YouTube, you can literally find videos about literally anything. Like literally anything. Like if you're a ladybug enthusiast, you know what I'm saying, you can find a YouTube page. And if you look, those YouTube pages be having hella subscribers, man. And my thing is, there's a lane for everything. It doesn't matter what you're into. There's a lane for it. The question is, how do you reach other like-minded individuals? You know what I'm saying? But like, there's literally a lane for anything. Um, I was cleaning a pool, and bro, there's so many pool pages, and it's the simplest stuff like how to add chlorine to the pool. Take a bag, you cut it, and they be having like hundreds of thousands of views. You know what I'm saying? Like there's literally a, a lane for anything. If you're into it, I guarantee you somebody else is into it.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, so just to sum it up, so you literally have a few options. We mentioned Anchor, especially if you're a person that's kind of camera shy. But I've personally used Anchor, like I mentioned before. That was what I started off on, and I literally was so easy that I was ashamed that I didn't do it earlier. To be honest. So then we mentioned StreamYard, we mentioned Zoom. Then Mr. Magnificent over here says have fun with it. And then we also have the fact that there's a lane for everybody. And I'll also even piggyback off of that. So if you even run into any situations with any of the platforms, there's literally thousands of like to do or how to videos on whatever you get hung up on as far as like production wise. So, there's StreamYard videos, how to overcome things on Zoom and Anchor. So you can also, I mean, Google is free for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, I mean, but you're
Yeah.
right though. Like
For
you
now.
can like the same way you can Google anything, man. Anytime I'm doing anything, and once I get stuck, Google first, then YouTube.
Hmm.
Man,
Yep.
I learned to do so much stuff on
YouTube is
YouTube,
my go-to.
man.
Yep.
YouTube is
And
my
even when
go-to.
you Google something, the top results are normally a YouTube video anyways.
Yep, exactly.
So, um, so great advice. I appreciate that. Now, we want to also talk about the fun part. So your podcast is about wrestling. And I know
Yes.
I'll probably have some wrestling fans out there that are tapping into this episode. I want to know what made y'all fall in love with wrestling.
Man, that's a good
Oh,
question.
that's kind of
Oh
deep.
man.
That's a good question.
For
I,
me, it was different things at different ages. When younger, it was the showmanship, how big the
Where,
show was.
where were you the first time you seen it?
Oh God. I remember the first time I remember wrestling, I remember going to the Coliseum, the old Coliseum here in town. I was
mhm.
with my dad, and I don't remember who was in the match exactly, but I know the Road Warriors were in the match, and something happened, and everybody in the arena just scattered, like they were coming after them personally. My dad threw me up on his on his shoulders, and we're booking it out the building. Like I don't know what they did, I don't remember because I was young, but whatever it is, they cleared the entire arena, and that was
Mm,
my first memory of wrestling.
mm. And you don't remember what happened?
I don't. That's the crazy thing. I remember, like, I see it in my head. I remember getting thrown up watching the match. I don't remember who they were wrestling, but whatever happened, like they jumped the barricade and started running through the crowd, and everybody just scattered.
Oh,
Like
wow. Okay.
everybody.
So that's like one of the key core memories that triggered
Yes.
your love for wrestling. Okay. All right.
Hmm.
And for me
Y'all
too,
still.
also on the other side of that, get older with me being older, I like the production side of it. Like I like to push buttons, so I like looking at little stuff like the lights and the sound and the timing behind what they do. You know why they're doing this promo, why they're having this match, stuff like that. So yeah, that's me.
Got you.
Well, I
Okay.
guess this is
Y'all
turned
still
into a
thinking?
two-part question. The first time I ever seen it, I was visiting my father on the weekends, and the lady he was seeing, her name was Emma Gary. Her name is she's real near to my heart. And they called me into the bedroom, and it was Saturday, and I looked at the TV, and Superfly was on the top rope. He jumped off, and I was hooked. But like from then, like it was everything wrestling. But for me, what keeps me grounded now is the psychology, being able to affect people's emotions without touching them. I can make someone hate me or like me inside a span of 10 minutes. Sometimes inside a span of seconds,
Hmm.
and that is an awesome feeling. Like I tell people it's the best drug I've ever tried in my life. The best drug.
Wow,
To
that's
walk into an
powerful.
arena and the music's blaring and they're either hating you or loving you. You can't. There's nothing touches that. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Or a kid walks up to you and say, "You're my favorite." Oh man,
Wow, that's got to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
For
you, G?
beautiful
me,
feeling.
for me, I don't necessarily remember the first time I seen it. I remember my mom told me recently that she took me to a wrestling show when I was, I don't know, like 4 or 5. It was somewhere in Fayetteville, probably at the old Coliseum. And she said she took me to see Hulk Hogan. And I don't remember the show at all. I don't remember it all. I just know that she took me to a show when I was younger. Um, I watched it as a kid. Like it really resonated with me as a teenager. And I think because it was just so larger than life. Like it was just like wrestling is like nothing else. There is nothing in the world like wrestling. Nothing. And I don't care what I don't care what anybody can say whatever they want to say about wrestling, but there is nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Two
from
guys in underwear fighting over a belt.
bruh, bruh, the characters, like the characters is one thing, like the action, the storytelling, like the shock and awe, the suspense, the turns, the happy times, the guys you just want to throw stuff at your TV. Like it's just so much, and it's one of those things that I can't pinpoint where I fell in love with wrestling, but I just like even I've been in radio 15 years, and like I like even being in radio because radio is entertainment. I there's so much that I do throughout the day that's like wrestling related. You know, like when I first got on, when I first started doing either nights, when I first started working like nights by myself, every Friday is finally Friday. You know what I'm saying? Every Friday is finally Friday, and obviously it's because of The Rock. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things that I do throughout my day, you know, are all wrestling related. Like sometimes I don't even be paying any attention to the stuff that I do. It just happens.
Now, I do have a
Piggyback
correction.
off of
Oh, I'm saying, Dave, I have a
piggyback.
correction on your first memory of wrestling. You know, Dave is a little old. He's a little old. So his first memory of wrestling, this lady was actually the first memory of wrestling when she was about 20. She was
Not
about
me.
20. Yeah, she was
What your
about
mama
20.
tell you about telling lies is close to Sunday? What your mama tell you about telling lies is close to Sunday? Shame on you. Sunday was just yesterday. And you're already telling fibs. Come on, man.
My bad. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I
interrupt. I just
lost
wanted
my
to
I
correct
lost
that.
my train. I lost my train
Right.
of thought.
Like
So I
It
would
was a good one too.
say that me personally, again, wrestling is not like my like one of my number one like hobbies or interests, but I definitely do care for it just because my brother loves it and I love that he loves it. Like I always tell him he has so many things that he collects, like wrestling wise, like cards and action figures. And I'm just like, this is super dope. Like, I don't have a collection. I want to collect something. so, but I will say, in terms of wrestling, I was a wrestler once upon a time for like 3 seconds. And my brother would tell you, he took me to the ring. Um, his name escapes me. I know his real name is Tony, but what was his wrestling name?
Hang time.
Hang Time. Yes. So Ken puts me in the ring with Hang Time. So the thing that didn't get me right, the learning of the moves, cool. The ring, it is kind of hard. But the number one thing I did not
kind of.
like, yeah, well, the ring is hard, not kinda. It's very, very hard. But that's not even what got me. What got me was the other people sweat on me.
Yeah.
Like I was
You're in the wrong
okay with,
business.
learning the moves or whatever, but then like he puts me in a headlock and like his just all his sweat is just like on the side of my
Man,
face now. And I'm just
it's
like,
very personal.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
Indeed, it is.
fun. This was fun,
Very
but yeah,
personal.
I'm just gonna go ahead and retire now.
And
Man,
that's
it's very
that,
personal.
that's crazy because that's not even something I even stopped to think about, really.
No,
Yeah.
like I've actually bled the ring and never thought about, hey, don't bleed on me. I'm like, if you're bleeding, I'm not gonna bleed. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that, none of that. You know what I mean? But I never said, hey man, don't bleed on me. No, or hey man, keep your sweat to yourself. No, I've never thought about
Hey,
that.
take
Now
your
that you brought it up.
So also a nice little segue, G. I think you mentioned something about The Rock, which is actually a segment that I like to call like goat talk. So The Rock is the goat of the day.
go.
And so we got The Rock or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, wrestler, actor, and entrepreneur, right? So
Yeah.
from what I was reading about him, just through my brother, my first introduction to him was wrestling. So he wrestled for about 8 years, I think I saw, and then he became an actor. So he started his acting career. And for me, my favorite movies from The Rock would be Gridiron Gang, Central Intelligence, and of course Fast and Furious. So I wanted to know, because he is really one of the OGs, there are a few of them, but I feel like there's some iconic people that even if you don't follow wrestling, you just like know who these people are. So like, what are you guys' relationship to like The Rock with him being like one of the goats of wrestling?
I
Well, The
think
Rock is pivotal to my childhood. Like, well, actually, all of our childhoods. We're actually all, especially us three, we're the same age.
Yeah.
We remember him when he wasn't the Rock. You know what I mean? We remember him when he had the
Yeah.
curl top. You know what I mean? Me personally, I've only met him once. I think Ken was there.
Hmm.
My little story is love my mother to death, but she dropped me off, and everybody at Fayetteville was at this Irby's, and she said, "Boy, you got 15 minutes to get this autograph, or I'm leaving."
Yep.
And I got that autograph in 10. So, yeah, these pillars of our childhood, man. We actually we grew up with them. We remember them from when we were kids, and we
Mm-hmm.
still watch them now. You know what I mean? So, and now he's about to start the XFL.
Yep.
That's about to come around, and he's partnered with the NFL. My brother was telling me the other day. So, yeah, man, look like he's gonna be around for a long time. Man. I want to get used to him.
Yeah. For me, the Rock is my all-time favorite wrestler. Like all time. And I know he only wrestled for a short amount of time in wrestling years, 8 years, but like he had the absolute biggest impact on me. Like the way he walked, the way he talked, the way he moved, you know, like I was Rocky Stan. Like I know for a lot of people, like they're like Stone Cold. For me, it's the Rock. Like from Nation of Domination, like to Hollywood Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like to This Is Your Life, Rock and Sock Connection. Yeah, I know 8 years is a short amount of time when you're a wrestler. Like, because both of you guys have wrestled longer than 8 years. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt like his impact from what 96 to '04 was just so big, was just so huge for me. You know what I'm saying? He's my all-time favorite, Yeah, all-time favorite wrestler. And then like his acting,
That was our childhood right there.
yeah,
96 to 04.
yeah, exactly. And even with his acting, like I liked his older movies more than I did his newer movies because you can make the argument that The Rock plays The Rock in every movie he does. You can make that argument now. But when he first started acting, not Scorpion King, but when he did movies like Be Cool, when he played the gay bodyguard,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Excuse me, he did what?
yeah, Be Cool with it
Oh,
was Be Cool is
no.
the it's the sequel to Get Shorty, a movie that came out in the '90s. It stars John Travolta and I can't remember the other guys, but like The Rock was the bodyguard to some dude, man. It was ridiculous, man. But like he was a bodyguard, he was tough, but he was also gay. You know what I'm saying? But he also wanted to be a model or an actor or something. So he
Yeah.
was
I
like,
have to check this out. I never seen that
oh,
movie
oh
Oh,
yeah.
it's
before.
hilarious.
Oh
You
man, I
had
Way
what?
wish
John,
before your
John
time. Way before your
Travolta,
time.
Cedric the Entertainer, Steven
oh yeah, he
Tyler.
was in that.
Yeah, it was like Andre
Uh,
3000 was in it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was funny.
that was one of my. I used to watch that movie exclusively, like for The Rock, because like you had to have range. You know what I'm saying? Then because it wasn't one of those. It wasn't one of those like overly
Especially
focused.
back then, though, because back then homosexuality wasn't as open as it is
Yeah, yeah,
now. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like back then, it, nah, it wasn't going down. So like
Yeah,
back
yeah,
then, for him to even want to consider going there was thumbs up, big thumbs up.
yeah, yeah. And what was another one? And this one, what was that joint? What was the Disney movie he did?
Oh, Moana.
No,
Tooth
no, no.
Fairy,
Oh, well, huh?
He had like a daughter
Tooth
or something
Fairy.
in it, right?
Gone Fishing.
Dang, he did a lot. The football one.
Disney
I can't
movie.
remember what it.
Football
Now I
one.
gotta hit Google, man. But like, and like there was a
Was
lot of
it
different.
Gridiron Gang?
No, no, no. It wasn't that. It
Oh.
wasn't that. It was.
I like that was Terrence Howard.
Hold on, I'm looking it up now. I can't. I don't know
Did
why
he have
I
a
had it in
daughter
my
in
head.
the
Still,
movie?
let me.
Was it like a little cute movie where he had like a daughter
Yeah,
in it?
it was like. Damn, I can't remember the name of that movie. To save my. Was it the Game Plan? I think it was the Game Plan.
Was it? It was a Disney movie,
No,
like
I
animated
thought it
movie.
was like the Tooth Fairy or something.
I just said that.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was.
Yeah, back in
Yeah,
2010.
that was the only Disney movie that is Tooth Fairy.
maybe it was a game plan. I thought it was a tooth fairy. I don't know why I thought it was a tooth fairy, but yeah, but like even like his early roles were like, he wasn't playing himself and everything. Like even when he did Southland Tales and yeah, he did do the Tooth Fairy in 2010. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
I just
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah. I was looking at the list and I didn't see it, and then I saw it.
Pick three, my lord.
Yeah.
I'll have to
but
echo
the rundown was dope too.
These movies I've never heard of before, and I'm gonna have to like go back and
Like the rundown
Before
was
your
a
time,
big
kid.
movie because
Before your time.
We don't count Scorpion King because, like, it was okay, but it was a playoff.
Yeah, Scorpion King. He didn't speak.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
You know what I think of when The Rock does Scorpion King? I think of The Miz and the Marine. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like, why are you here?
Just to piggyback, so like me being a wrestling fan by association, I will say that growing up, out of probably the couple pockets of time that I have sat down and really watched wrestling with Ken, I can still like I could probably do like a whole impression of The Rock right now, and that's really the number one like iconic figure that I remember, like that whole like eyebrow thing he used to do, and then like what he used to say. He had a
know
few
your role
phrases,
and shut
but
your mouth.
yeah, or like he would be like, "I'm gonna so and so with your candy yams," or something like that, and then he was like, and then wait.
At first I wanted you to do it. Now I don't want you to do it.
I'm not even gonna disrespect The Rock like that. Like I'm not even gonna try to like do my little raggedy impression. But he also had that like the little call and response one where he's like, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Yeah. Like I can remember that. If I can't remember nothing else,
what is your
I remember
name?
those.
How many kids got in trouble in school doing that line?
It
doesn't matter what you say.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So
I think
also
wrestlers put us in detention at least one time.
Oh, everybody at least
once. At least
Bro,
once.
we was coming up in the age of DX, so everybody was Crocs, chopping, suck it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For me, all the promos The Rock did with the coach was absolutely hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Remember he had him doing the Charleston. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, turn
remember
around.
the time he slid on the leather bottles?
Yeah.
The rock bottom. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Do you know who I feel like?
Let's not take over this with wrestling talk. Hold on.
Yes.
Let's get back on track.
Okay, wait, real quick though. One more point or one more thought based off this one. So again, with me being like wrestling fan adjacent, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. But you know who I feel like is like present day kind of goated like The Rock? So I'm gonna do a gesture before I try to remember bro's name, right? So the wrestler I feel like, don't beat me up if I'm wrong or if y'all disagree. But Gee, I was like, wait, am I tripping? It looks like he's zooming in. But
how the hell is that?
You know the wrestler
Spike Lee shot.
the little
John Cena.
Yeah. I feel like present day children probably like revere him in like a Rock-esque, but I don't know. Correct.
I will 100% agree, and I want to disagree at the same time because I just don't like John Cena like that.
See, but this is the thing, because I think Cena debuted in what, '02, right? If
Yeah.
I'm not
There was a
mistaken.
time where we did like John Cena. We liked Thugonomics John
Yeah,
Cena.
yeah.
I
I,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
Thugonomics
We
John
liked
Cena.
until about 2010. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
and
see,
then we
but
just got tired of seeing John Cena.
yeah, and this is the thing, right? So let's just say, 2000 for 2 decades, 2002 to 2021. John Cena has been there. Now, this is the thing: John Cena has wrestled way longer than The Rock. Rock only did 8 active years. John Cena did like 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? But even WWE, like around 14, 15, 16, they wanted you to believe that, hey, John Cena is the greatest of all time. Like that's how they were positioned. That like they would say that, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if they did it just to get to a point so they could have The Rock and Cena face each other. But if you think about it, they're doing the same thing with Roman Reigns right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, he's the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? But it's different eras for everything. But to get to your point, John Cena literally carried WWE for a number of years. Like he literally like the difference with when The Rock was on top. It was a bunch of it. It was Rock, it was Stone Cold, Triple H, The Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a plethora of guys that you could that was like holding the spot up. When it came to Cena, it was only like two or three, but it was mainly Cena, and then it's like, hey, Orton or whoever the hell. So
John
Exactly.
Cena
I'm not
was the
mad at
great Hulk
anybody
Hogan.
for thinking what you just said. I can't be mad at it, especially if they're younger, because he's there. Because Cena is the tooth is their Hogan. You can pretty much say that.
That's what he is. He's their Hogan.
But still,
But that's why we don't like it.
You know
Because
who?
remember, we grew up with Hogan. We stopped liking Hogan. That's why we don't like him.
And real,
So
real quick, that reminds me of the promo. You remember the promo The Rock cut on Cena? He said, "You can't see me. You can't see me. I can't see peekaboo." That was hilarious.
look, I look. There was some good ones, but I ain't gonna front. Like Cena got at Rock a couple times,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
especially when he revealed that The Rock had some of his notes on his arm, bro. I will never forget that. And I was like, what? And The Rock was
Yeah,
flustered. I've never seen him flustered.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
hold on, wait a minute.
so G, there's actually another wrestler that I hear that you really like.
Now this.
Oh,
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now come on.
Oh,
yes.
Come on. We can't.
We get
man.
This is not Smash the Mat.
even in Where's the Bag. We get the obligatory.
Now hold on. Now
I'm gonna do a picture.
I have to stop. I have to disagree with that
This about to be
because
my
if
second favorite
you know
part.
if this were Smash the Mat, G, if this was the Smash the Mat, this is the actual picture that they would have shown on Smash the Mat. It'd have been that one.
I want you to know on the next show I got some more. I got some heat. I got some heat.
My favorite wrestler is the what's the name? The big one. That been
Dewdrop.
NXT. Dewdrop. That's my baby
Oh,
right there, baby. That's my baby. Look, can I get a picture of Dewdrop? Can I get a Dewdrop picture? Can I get
You
a
know,
Dewdrop picture?
you know it
oh,
just for
What
you.
would Dewdrop picture?
I'm
What
I'm
Dewdrop
I'm
picture at?
I'm gonna get you a Dewdrop picture, sir.
Give me a Dewdrop.
you should
Dewdrop.
y'all
you
want
should
to
have kept
know?
them.
Y'all want to know who my favorite wrestlers are?
Yes.
Sure.
Interesting.
Oh, look.
Oh, we'll take it. Look at that faux
Team
hawk, boy. That faux
Sexy,
hawk was
Mr.
crazy.
Magnificent, Sweet Daddy D. And you know what? There's another
Hey,
wrestler,
we'll take
that
it.
I like.
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
I
this
Yes.
know that
wrestler
guy.
too.
I know
E.
that guy.
Cole Johnson.
That's, that's
and
what we do. We crop people out of pictures.
and
That's what we
sweet
do.
sweet daddy. There you go, sir.
Hey,
Dewdrop. That Dewdrop. Oh, big one.
that's
I
Okay,
just like the
so
name. I love the
in
name.
the interest of wrestling, we also recently had a situation with something that is being referred to as the smack that was heard around the world.
Oh, we
Man,
can
stop job. He smacked Tyson that boy, mouth. Boy, boy, he slapped that man so hard. Jesus, man. I almost screamed this morning when I was watching it. I almost woke up like, hey, I couldn't scream like I wanted to.
I
He
mean, that
smacked that boy.
situation.
But he was laughing
That's
before. He was laughing first. He was laughing. He
look.
was laughing.
We
And
gonna
then
get into
Jada
that
looked at him like,
now.
William, you
We
better
gonna
do
get into that.
something. And he had to put on his big boy pants. He walked up, and I swear, I'm willing to bet money. While he was walking up to her, he was like, "Bro, I got to do this. Please don't get mad at me." And he gave that little bullshit smack. You know what I'm saying? And then went back to his seat and played hard. You know? Like I'm telling you, because nobody knows what Will Smith his back was to the camera. You can't tell, man. He knew that guy for 30 years. He was, hey Chris, I'm about to hit you. I'm about to hit you. But listen, I love you. Okay, here we go. Smack, and he went back to his seat and got gangster.
And
so.
I'm
There's
gonna
a.
tell you, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, G. No, you
No,
go ahead.
no. First thing I want to tell you is that I don't know if Mr. Magnificent told you, but with StreamYard, you can put those types of videos up and throw them out there so people can see them. You know,
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I should have did that.
Bro,
Yeah.
look,
bro.
but I'm gonna just look. I've been talking about this, man. I talked about this on my radio show today, man. I've been talking about this all day, man. People have been hitting me, yo, what do you think? And I'm gonna say this, just like Dave said, he was chuckling. You look at her face, she rolled her eyes. The camera cut to Chris. Now, in those 10 seconds, we don't know what was said, but I guarantee you, she said
He
something to
said
that
something.
man that stirred his spirit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you really gonna let this?
Tupac.
You know,
She said Tupac. That's what she
bruh.
said. August Alstina. That's what she said.
Look.
No.
Okay, since you said that,
Entanglement.
this
That's
this
what she said.
this is my rebuttal to everybody talk about August Alsina, right? So check this out. When we found out about the August Alsina mess, this was 2 to 3, maybe 4 years after the situation happened. That's one. Two, August Alsina is the one who dropped that information. It wasn't Jada. It was August Alsina. He was doing an interview and somebody asked him something, and that's when he spilled the beans, right? So then, Will and Jada had to deal with that. Will put Jada up to actually coming out and speaking about it because they wasn't saying nothing about it.
They should have kept it that way.
Well, it's already out at that point. So
it's not out to you and say something.
But this is my thing, right? Let's just say, for sake of argument, that went down in 2018. There's between 2018 and 2021. I personally believe Will did run up on August Alsina. Only problem is it didn't happen at the Oscars. So how will we know about it? They could have had a situation where he went, spoke to him, they did what they did, and then they went about their business.
You know what though? All this stuff about him.
This is Will's first run up on.
It is not.
No, that's
this is not even the first time he smacked somebody.
Exactly, it's not.
He's done it on the red carpet at another award show.
Because the dude tried to kiss him. The dude tried to kiss you, and you ain't with it. You gonna smack him. Sorry,
smack, bro. That just lets.
And that wasn't even a smack. That was like hey, watch your mouth, son. Watch your mouth. Bro, he was a smack.
But you know what? There's a difference. There's a difference between somebody like, for example, G Money running up and smacking somebody and a Will Smith. Will Smith has too much time, too much money invested in situations, and too much to lose in a situation.
I am a fervent male smacker. That's what I do. I'm going to smack you first to see where your moves is. If you want to tangle, we can tangle afterwards. I'm going to smack you.
Now you know what though? I bet you had that been The Rock on stage. And you want to try it.
See, and this is
so apparently.
Go ahead, Ty.
Sorry. No, I was gonna say real quick. Apparently, of course, I don't have any like secret Hollywood sources, but allegedly, Will Smith did in fact have an altercation with August Alsina, and he supposedly admitted to it. We just don't have any video footage
exactly
or proof of it.
I don't know why. bro, I don't know why people be thinking like these
Will
celebrities
Smith
are
song.
real people. These celebrities are real people that deal with real stuff. We only see them a certain amount of times a day. Like that doesn't surprise me at all. People they get got at all the time. There's just no cameras. This is the most public viewing of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
I
sure
don't know.
there's been a lot of celebrities that's checked people before. Like Will ain't no small dude. Like why wouldn't he check August Alsina? August Alsina ain't no thug. Who does he scare? That dude's like 5'8",
All right, so
170
he goes from
pounds.
checking August Alsina to running up on Chris Rock on stage on national TV.
Hey,
So
bro,
what's next? Drive-bys? What's next?
all I'm saying is talk shit, get hit. And Chris Rock has done it before. He was going
What
at her
Chris
like
Rock said
years
was
ago.
was it wasn't.
It
I
doesn't
didn't find
matter.
it even that
Look,
offensive.
Dave, you can't
The
tell
old lady
anybody.
sitting there with a fade.
Hey, I feel
I'm
you.
gonna have
Look,
jokes
but
too.
you don't
I'm
get to.
sorry.
Nobody is allowed to tell somebody how they can feel about shit or how they can react to
He's a
stuff.
comedian.
It doesn't
No, he's
matter.
a comedian at the
It
show. He's
doesn't
supposed to have
matter,
jokes.
bro.
G Money, G Money, G Money.
And
We are the
look,
same age.
I'm
G
all for
Money, G
comedians'
Money,
rights.
G Money, G
I'm all
Money,
for like
G
comedians
Money,
doing what
G
they
Money.
do. But if
Me
you
and
say
you are
something
almost
and
40.
somebody don't like it,
Me and you are almost 40. You remember Def Comedy Jam. You sit in the
Okay,
front
listen.
row, you get got. Period. That's the
So
rules.
listen, can I
Will and Fade are
offer?
older than us.
all right,
Sit in the
okay.
front
So
row
where
and
they
get got. I'm
wait,
sorry,
where
Pat.
were they
Sorry.
at? Where were they at? Were
The
they at Def
Oscars.
Comedy
Front
Jam?
row.
Were they
Front
at a
row.
comedy show?
It's a comedian.
There was at a fucking
From
awards
the Def Comedy Jam era. From your era. Somebody's gonna get
But
got.
if you
He's pointing out
show up,
people in the crowd.
if you show
And
up at Def
everyone
Comedy Jam,
knows when
that's
he starts
exactly
on
what
one
you
side
get.
of the room, he's coming to the next side of the room. So if you don't
That's
So
want to
let
get
me.
got,
yeah.
make
So
your way to the
listen,
bathroom.
listen, guys. Let me just stir the pot a little bit further, right? Because I've read different aspects, like, and we could go on for days. But what I want to know, and again, I wish I had added this screenshot or this picture, but there was someone who argued in the spirit of conspiracy theories, because we all like a good conspiracy theory, that allegedly this was like something that was staged. And someone, I saw like a picture of a still of Will like cocking back, and allegedly they were saying it was like a wrestler, like a stage, like a performance slap.
I hate when
Do
people
That's
say
what
y'all
I felt
feel
when I
like
first seen it.
that
I hate
could
when
be an
people say it's a
option?
wrestler slap. Because I've been
That's
slapped
what
by
I.
wrestlers and them shits hurt.
Wrestlers are real slack. So I don't understand a wrestler slack. But
But
what I did see
go
was
ahead.
now there's different. Listen, when I smack a dude, I'm smacking you. I'm not trying to not to hurt you. I'm trying to let you know I'm smacking you. Almost like those little smacking competitions you see on YouTube. That's not what we saw. But also, Will was in a tailored suit. So how much swing could he really get off? You know what I mean? But like he said, I really I don't know. When I first seen it, I felt it was a show. I, that was the first thing I seen when I seen it because I just felt Will has too much class to smack another guy, especially another black dude, on national TV at the Oscars. You know what I mean? Like, period. Uh, he's not Kanye. I don't look at him and Kanye in the same breath.
He's not
So
Kanye.
yeah, you know what I mean. So like, I just felt like, and then when he sat down, he still had a little smirk about him when he was like, "Keep my white name out your mouth." It was still a little smirk about it. It's just like I could, I don't know. It was entertaining, and that's what I think it was supposed to. Nobody really watched the Oscars. It did what it was supposed to do. I didn't even know the Oscar was on until I heard somebody got smacked. And then I went on my YouTube and I had to go find it. And now I'm gonna watch the Oscars again next year to see if somebody gets smacked. So I guess they got me.
Look at the first photo. Chris Rock almost appears to be leaning
He's
into it, and
bracing
he
for it. He's
and
bracing
Well,
for it.
no,
And look at Will
that it
Smith's
was gonna
angle.
he thought it was gonna be
Man,
something
that
else.
is
He was like,
nah.
shit.
Nobody, nah. You don't
Look,
distinguish
so
a punch
okay,
from a
hold on,
smack
Dave.
like that,
We
man.
let
You
you say
know,
your piece. We let you say your piece. This is my thing.
10-4.
This is my thing, man. Because I think I just lost my train. Oh, okay, I know it was. So she said it's staged, right? And I said this on your post, Dave. But anytime people say something is staged, you always have to say, you always have to think to yourself, who benefits from this? Does Will benefit from this? Not at all. None of this helps
Yes,
in any way. I
we're talking about him.
literally just left that man's Instagram page. Let me just tell you, that shit is
For
not
now,
benefiting that man at
until he
all.
drops something.
They're
A hot album or another movie.
talking about, look, like granted, like he's probably losing followers, whatever. Who cares? They're talking about cancel him. They ain't gonna do shit. But it's just the fact, like that negative stigma does nothing for him or his brand. He's already winning. He dropped Bel Air and is doing really good. So why would you, for him? Why would he need to do that? Okay, let's look at Chris Rock. Chris Rock. Okay, he's got a tour coming up. Okay, maybe. But who wants to go on tour after you've been slapped? You look like you either like a victim, you look like you're soft. Like it gives you something to talk about. But like Chris Rock is going to sell out anyway. Let's look at the Oscars. Does this help the Oscars? No, it doesn't. People talk about the Oscars. Yes, they are. But everything is overshadowed. See, so much has been overshadowed about the Oscars. Did anybody know that this year's Oscars had a whole black production team? No. You want to know why? Because all they talked
I did because they talked about it because two black guys were assaulting each other on the goddamn stage. Excuse my mouth. On stage. That's why I know about the all black production.
Or even the
but he
fact
would-
that Samuel L. Jackson, I think, won his first Oscar and Denzel presented it, and they said that they didn't even show that part.
I knew about that because of all this. I wouldn't even
Like,
heard about the Oscars
most people
because
don't
Will
even.
Smith's
I
back.
won't say.
That's just for me personally.
I mean, right. And the only reason I knew about it is just because I just happened to see somebody mention that because of how much of a quote unquote disgrace it is. So, like when you telling me like when someone says, "All right, no, this is a stage for whatever," like it's somebody's got to gain somewhere, and Will doesn't gain. Chris Rock doesn't gain. Like it keeps your name. Now, if his tour is in August. If that shit was if his tour was in May, then that's a little dicey. Like I don't know, man. Like I feel like people just try to like Dave is a big guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he said if I'm trying to smack you, I'm trying to smack fire out. Will's kind of a big guy. I think that was the type of smack to let you know, I'm not trying to fuck you up, but I need you to understand that you're not going to do this no more because
Why do it?
everybody's got jokes about Will and Jada, but nobody has been in front of people saying their jokes like Chris Rock had. Nobody else had. And this is the second time that he did it. And he's probably like, oh God, here we go. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. That's just me.
So you want that Will and Jada love?
You said what?
You want that Will and Jada love?
And look, I love J. Cole, but I don't want anybody's love.
So in conclusion, y'all, it seems that y'all heard it here first. We have debunked the myth that this was staged because one, a wrestling slap, whether it was or was not, it hurts. So that's number one. And for number two, there really was no beneficiaries. I mean, you could possibly argue like red table talk maybe, but not because why would you do that?
She might have something to talk about. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
That's too much for red table talk.
Now,
yeah, but to my brother's point, that's way too much at risk. Just
so they can talk about the entanglement, but they can't talk about my husband smacking Chris Rock on national TV. But they can talk about it.
They can, but it's
they had to jump out in front of that because that was out of their control.
Yeah, to stage something like that on purpose just for a internet show.
Because it's on a small network. I don't even think if it's on. Sorry, go ahead, G.
No, my bad. I'm talking over you.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was only on YouTube, but it did move to a network. But whatever network it is, I think it's just like one of those like smaller ones. So I wouldn't see like the return on investment being great enough to do something so grand.
I thought it went to Facebook for a while.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
My thing is like don't be surprised if you see Chris Rock on Red Table Talk in the near future. But because at some
I
point,
definitely think it will
you know,
happen.
if he really wants to like hash it out, that's the way they're gonna have to do it. You know, I just saw that he
Yeah.
issued an apology on his Instagram, you know. But see, and I'm one of those, I'm not a thug, man. I'm not. But I do believe that the apology should always be as loud as the disrespect. You know what I'm saying? That I'm big on that. Like that's why
That
I'm not
wasn't disrespect
that's why
though.
I'm not mad at Will, bro. Like people could talk jokes all day, man, but just because it's a joke doesn't mean you have to like it or you have to deal with it, man.
You don't, but you don't. All right, but look now. Let's go back. See, I have 3 kids. Let's go back to be rare kids. Somebody say something you don't like, go over there punch them in the mouth. In the adult world, they get you time in jail.
Okay,
You don't handle your
I
problems
get
like
that.
that.
But when you
You know what I
snap,
mean?
you snap, bro.
Now somebody
Everybody
puts
has
you.
a boiling point, man. We're all human. Like everybody doesn't
What you
handle
mean
things the way
boiling point?
they're to be handled.
What the point? Your old lady sitting there with a
So
season, and he making G.I. Jane joke. He don't know why she got a season. He don't know that. But if you sit in the
so
front row and the comedian is hosting the show, you won't get this business. And that is the
who
rule. There's always
apologized,
been the
G?
rules.
Hey, talk shit, get hit.
Who apologized again on their
Uh,
Instagram? You
Will
said Will
Will
Smith
Will
did?
apologize to Chris because at first, when he did his acceptance speech, he apologized to the Academy, and I'm one of those guys where I'm like, I understand because this is their event. They invited you to their event, then you called, then you started acting
That's
out.
the
So
only
I
people you
understand
shouldn't
that.
apologize to. That's it.
Yo, look, I'm one of those guys. If I slapped you, I'm not sorry, bro. I'm not. Like, you got slapped for a reason. I wish you would have stood on that shit too. I really do, but I understand he's a
You
celebrity.
had to
You
apologize to the
gotta do
people.
better than that.
Yeah.
But like, bro, if I slap you, I meant that shit. I'm not apologizing. I apologize. Like, hey man,
Okay.
I'm sorry you got on my nerves so much that I had to slap you. You know, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Look,
I'm
you
with
can say
that.
he was, if you want to say he was protecting his queen, or if you want to say he was just fed up with everything and like he just happened to take us out. Whatever narrative you want to use, or why you feel like was he defending Jada's honor? I don't know. Was he just tired of
She sick him on. She sick that
people?
man on.
Was he
I've
just
been married
tired
for
of people
16
talking
years.
trash?
I know that look. She sick that man. I've been married for 16 years. I know that look. She sick that man on. Hey, we're gonna take it at it. We're gonna take it, and you,
Hey,
whether you want to or not, you have to go take care of that.
that's right.
Period.
Look,
I
women
need
love it, bro. Look, Tiffany Haddish said she spoke to Jada. She said, "Look, she said that was the most beautiful thing she's ever seen." She said, "You better get that man fellatio from the back. I don't want to get too. I don't want to
Twice, twice on command, on command, on command.
bro."
Period.
Hey, and now, hey, look, every woman is like, if you ain't defending me like Will, don't talk to me. I'm like, oh shit.
That's but that
That's
now
the
look
only
you know
thing.
look
what
now
what we
That's the
really
thing that I
need,
don't
on the
like.
y'all.
downside. On
That's
the
the
downside,
downside.
that's
That's the
deadly. That
downside.
could be deadly. That could be deadly.
I know. Like
Because
that,
nowadays that concealed carry against somebody.
bro.
That
Look,
could be deadly.
that
I
whole
think when it
notion
comes
is the only thing that I don't like out this situation because it's like, oh, there it is. I didn't seen a lot of women say that, and I'm like, oh.
I think what we really need is we need to have somebody have been Snapchatting or something back in the cut to give us that little 10-second gap for whenever the camera
Yes,
panned away, whenever she made
yes,
that. Then we can like make better
yes.
inferences on
She
what
sick
really
that. Listen,
happened.
he laughed at first. She
But you,
sick that man on him. He was laughing
But
at like
you've
every
never
other.
have you never been so pissed off though that you've laughed like
No,
hit
he
him
exactly,
like
wasn't
a
pissed.
little
He was
exactly,
like, "Yo, that was a good joke." He
I
exactly.
looked
thought he
over.
was
He was like,
laughing at the
when
joke, the previous
"I ain't
joke
supposed to be
is what I
laughing."
thought he was
And
laughing
then he
at.
Yeah.
looked back over
Hey,
and he was like, "Oh, I gotta go do something." And he
sometimes,
looked back over and he was like,
sometimes,
"Yeah, I gotta go do something." And he went and go did something.
sometimes
I've been
people
married for
do that.
16 years now. He did what she sick that man on him. Listen,
Sometimes
you
people
know
do
how many
that
times,
nervous
you know how
laugh,
many
man.
times I've had a female in front of my face get lippy, and I look at my wife like, and she goes, "I'm not gonna do nothing about that." That's what she can do something about. Listen, she sick that man on him.
Look, look. Don't act like this has never happened to you. Don't act like you like somebody said something to you like Oh shit, this man just won't stop talking shit. Okay, let me go handle this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that.
I have, but I didn't get
So
that vibe
look.
from him. I didn't get that vibe.
So look. At the end of the day, the world may never know, right? So luckily,
Uh-uh.
I'm real cool. I'm real cool with Will and Jada. So I'm gonna just let it. I'm gonna let it die down a little bit, and I'm gonna give him a call maybe in a day or so.
I like Will too.
So make
He
sure
all over
y'all
my
tune in.
playlist.
Look,
Make
I
sure
have
y'all
no.
tune into the next episode, and I'll be able to give y'all an update
Yeah.
on what actually happened. But I don't want to take up too much more of y'all's time. So basically, just to wrap it up, what we learned here today, right? If you're interested in doing a podcast, just get out there and do it. There's literally no excuses. You got Google, you got Anchor. Actually, we didn't even talk about cost. Anchor is a free
Yep.
platform. Of course, with any platform, you have premium features, but don't worry about those premium features. Just go ahead and get started. And then as you grow, scale, progress, then you can start to add those certain premium features. There's a free option on StreamYard. And then again, you can grow from there and choose the premium options. Have fun with it. And then if you have questions, again, Google is free 99. Um, and podcast also. I want to give y'all an opportunity for any of my followers or fan base that may also be inclined to wrestling content. Can you please let them know where they can find you?
Oh, this is G Money
Smash
specialty.
the mat is where it's at.
So, so before we get into that, I want to
Okay.
other thing that you got that people that podcast need to understand is
Okay.
starting a podcast is cool, but you also need a place to host it. You got to have a place to host it, and then the place that you host it at will distribute it. And I meant to say this earlier. It just slipped my mind. Like we use Simplecast. We go to simplecast.com, and and there's a lot of them now. There's Podbean. There's you can Google it. There's a bunch of them. And I think the main reason I chose Simplecast is because another podcast I was on, they were using Simplecast, and it was simple. You know what I'm saying? But the most important thing, and I just had a brain fart, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. But there is a but once you find a place to host your podcast to distribute it, you're gonna need to copy and paste your I forgot what the link is called, but there's a link that is distributed by your podcast hosting site. Once you have that link, I'm going to remember it after the podcast is over. It's always happening. I'm going to know the name of it. But once you have that link, you go to Apple Podcasts and you'll be like, how can like Simplecast gave me it gave you options like, oh, if you want to distribute it, go to these websites. It was like there's Apple Podcast, Radio Public, Overcast, Pocket, all that. And I just clicked on each name. I went to their website and I just read how do I, put your podcast in, fill in the information, and then you paste the link. That link that you paste, so anytime when you paste that link to these websites, anytime you drop a new episode on your hosting site, it will distribute it to all these other sites all these other podcast platforms like Spotify and all that
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's so like if
Okay.
people they might be
Simplecast.
like, well, how do I get it on this and how do I get it on that? Yeah, you need a hosting site. You gotta and most like I think we were doing Simplecast. I think Simplecast like $15 a month or something like that. But yeah, you definitely need a hosting site. No matter what you
Okay.
get. No matter what else you use, and even like we're using StreamYard, right? So she's going to be able to download the video and the audio from this podcast. She can take that video and she could post it on YouTube, or she could stream it straight to YouTube or stream it straight to Facebook, and she could take that audio and she could do what she want with it and then upload it to whatever podcast hosting site. Then bam, you got the audio version here, you got the video version there. Like it's a lot of stuff, and everything I just said I learned on motherfucking YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's actually one of the things I forgot to ask you. So for me, this will be available. I have StreamYard connected to my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. But to your point, I will be downloading the video and the audio, and I think I'll check out Simplecast just because
Just because
why
I
not?
said,
Yeah, because I was originally
hey, yo,
gonna
Simple
just
Cat, cut a check,
right,
Pay us.
right.
pay us money.
Okay. All right. So thank you for that additional advice. And so now that we got that out the way, now go ahead and let us know where we can tap into Smash the Mat
All
podcast.
right. So the Smash the Mat podcast. Okay. So you see it right there. YouTube page, Smash the Mat podcast. Facebook is Smash the Mat. On Twitter, Smash the Mat pod. On Instagram, it's Smash the Mat podcast. Those are the social media platforms. As far as the podcasting platform, we are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Radio Public, we're on Overcast, we're on Pocket Cast. I heard Amazon was doing podcasts, but I don't know what the hell happened with that because I haven't seen any email updates. But anywhere you can get your podcast, you can find the Smash the Mat podcast. Yes, Lord.
Okay. So basically, anywhere that you podcast, you can find Smash the Mat. Cool.
And if you
All
can't,
right.
send me a message right there where you see that G Money name at on IG or Twitter. So I know what platform I missed, so I can do that and add it to it.
Okay, cool. And do you guys have any, I guess, because you guys are in several different aspects of semi-pro wrestling. So like, do you have either any places that you're going to be broadcasting from soon, or even do you have your own wrestling events? Anything coming up for you guys in the pipeline soon?
Well, we have an event coming up Saturday that all three of us, are going to be at in Lumberton, North Carolina, at the King Arena. Special start time. What was it, G?
6
6:30?
p.m.
6 p.m. Special start time this Saturday because of WrestleMania. 6 p.m. Me and Dave are going to be doing what we do best. We're tag team champions, so we're going to go in. We're going to win. We're going to look good. We're going to be Team Sexy. I mean, what can we say? And G Money will be, in the background asking for
I,
autographs,
actually,
taking
will
pictures with
not.
us.
I'm gonna tell you why
Carrying
I will not.
bags.
Hold up. What's this called? That is the RS feed. It took me forever. The RS feed is what you're gonna need to distribute your show. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent, but I had to find it. It's called the RS
No,
feed.
you're good. No, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so just to jump over what he's talking about. See, I wasn't going to say anything about this, but you are talking to the radio rock star, the radio rap star. You're talking to the fade runner. You're talking to the voice of choice that makes the ladies noise. You're talking to Mister. Oh, he does that too. And your new number one contender for the RWC Heavyweight Championship. And after Saturday, I will be the new RWC Heavyweight Champion. And I'm
Don't know
taking
what G Money put on his
radio.
cornflakes, but it
So
worked.
Monday
Sure.
morning, Monday afternoon, when I come back to Foxy 99 on Ugly Radio from 3 to 7 p.m. on foxy99.com and the Foxy 99 app, I will be there to tell everybody about how I just became not only the number one radio DJ in the area, but also the RWC Heavyweight Champion. That was a good promo. Why didn't I record that?
Wow. See, I only
Yeah, you
wish
really
that
should
me and
have.
Dave had the time to chase these championships, but we just don't because we're already champions. We don't have to chase anything.
Hold on 1 second, though.
Uh-oh, he
Well,
going somewhere.
something about to happen.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, yes, sir.
Oh, so, well, you heard it here, folks. Make sure you check out the show on Saturday. Make sure you tune in to G Money, Foxy 99. For me, hopefully, I do have some new folks that are tapped into me right now. So again, this is. Oh, you're back. Oh,
He
you're back. What you got, Dave?
he got he I'm so glad he bought those out. I
Mm,
tell you, mine are put up, but that is one half of the TCW, one half of the RWC Tag Team Championships. That is impressive. That's a lot of gold.
I'll go about 20 pounds of it. It's
yeah,
heavy.
20 pounds.
Don't
It's heavy.
Woo!
don't throw your back out. Don't throw your back out.
Okay.
Man, my back already thrown out.
Uh,
Good job, guys. Good
all
job.
right, so we got the number one tag team champions that are gonna be in the building, and we also got G Money. So make sure y'all come out to that show on Saturday. And also, again, if you're new here, I'm Tat Goalz, your fave corporatepreneur, also the CEO of support. You can check me out at freegoals.com. So that's freegoalz.com. Again, I'm a blogger, now podcaster, and I'm a brand consultant as well. So if you need help starting your podcast, please don't hesitate to hit your girl up. I'll be happy to help you out. We can go on this podcast journey together. I can go on your podcast. You can go on my podcast. We can just podcast it up. Okay? You can also follow me on all things social, literally. I'm talking Pinterest, TikTok, um, Instagram, Facebook, at
Facebook.
Tot_Goalz. Yes, Facebook, everywhere. Tot_Goalz. So that's TAT_Goalz, GOALZ. And that's all platforms. So make sure y'all go follow me. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you again to my wonderful guests, my bros. I love y'all so much. Mr. Magnificent, G Money, Dave, appreciate everybody. Dave, G, why would you do that? I appreciate y'all so much for being on my podcast. I really appreciate
So in the
it.
bag. So in the
It was
bag.
fun.
Before we close out, as I normally do, I want to remind y'all of something. I'm about to zoom in like G. Listen, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. And I hope y'all have a great 24 on the game. Appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all in the
Live
next
long and
episode.
prosper.
Bye.
Ours.
That was word.
FREEGOALZ.com.